When James Mason died in 1984, no one expected what would be found in his Beverly Hills estate. Hidden behind false walls were film reels worth millions. But that wasn't the real shock. 10 years later, a cassette tape labeled "Do Not Play" surfaced from the same property. The 90-minute recording contained Mason's raw thoughts about Hollywood's darkest secrets. Studio executives tried to buy it. Collectors offered fortunes, but what Mason said about his famous co-stars and the industry's hidden crimes was so explosive it almost disappeared. James Mason was born on May 15, 1909 in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. His family came from the world of textiles, with his father running a successful wool business that sold fine cloth across Europe. His mother came from a cultured Lancaster family and hoped James would have a respectable future in something like architecture. Still, she saw his gift for performance early on, quietly arranging elocution lessons to soften his Yorkshire accent. That early mix of privilege, expectation, and hidden encouragement planted the seed for a life that would forever be divided between following the rules and breaking free of them. At Marlborough College, one of England's top schools, James earned a scholarship at just 14. But life there wasn't easy. He struggled with a serious stammer that left him feeling isolated. Everything changed when his drama teacher invited him to join the school's small theater group. The training helped him overcome his stammer, and the experience of performing lit a fire inside him. He later wrote about the joy he felt delivering Shakespeare's lines, describing it as intoxicating. The stage didn't just give him confidence, it gave him a purpose. When he went on to Cambridge in 1927, it was supposed to be the start of a safe career in architecture, the path his parents wanted. But while attending classes, he was secretly acting in play after play with the Marlowe Society, appearing in everything from Greek tragedies to modern verse drama. In 1930, his father offered him a position in the family firm that would have guaranteed a wealthy future. James turned it down. Instead, he joined a repertory theater in London, a move that his father called madness. The decision caused a deep rift in the family. But for James, it was the moment he chose the stage over everything else. His first years as an actor were tough. He worked with small touring companies, sometimes performing in half-empty provincial halls. Money was so tight he once pawned his pocket watch just to eat. He even slept backstage on cold marble floors. Everything changed when playwright J.B. Priestley noticed him during an audition and offered him a role in London's West End. Practically overnight, he went from a struggling actor to a critical success. Praised for the depth of his performances, it was the first of many times James would bounce back from the edge with sheer persistence. Not long after, his personal life drew nearly as much attention as his career. He fell for Pamela Kino, a married woman he had met on a film set. Their relationship created a scandal that played out both privately and publicly. For a time, he even lived with Pamela and her husband under the same roof. A situation that shocked everyone who learned of it. When her husband finally filed for divorce, James and Pamela rushed to marry in Nevada, but the timing caused a storm of rumors about bigamy. The secrecy around their union damaged his reputation. Yet, the bond between them held firm despite the fallout. On set, his passion sometimes pushed him to dangerous lengths. During the filming of I Met a Murderer, he insisted on performing his own stunts. A cart accident sent him tumbling off a cliff, leaving him badly injured. He refused proper medical care and continued filming the very same day, hiding his broken wrist under a coat. The injury never fully healed, and he carried the physical reminder throughout his career. When war broke out, James made a choice that split public opinion. He refused combat duty, registering as a conscientious objector. Newspapers labeled him a coward, and some studios refused to hire him. But instead of retreating, he drove ambulances during the Blitz, risking his life to pull survivors from burning rubble night after night. Though more dangerous than many combat roles, his service did little to soften his critics. Those months of relentless work showed a different kind of courage, one that never fit neatly into public expectations. In 1943, everything changed with the man in gray. James convinced the director to let him play the villain instead of the hero, and the role transformed him into a star. His performance was so intense that audiences packed cinemas just to see him, cheering when his character finally met his fate. The film broke box office records and made James Mason one of the most talked about actors in Britain. James Mason's rise to fame with The Seventh Veil in 1945 was more than just a breakthrough performance. It was a turning point for British cinema. The film had been made on a tight budget of less than $100,000. Yet, it stunned the industry by earning over $253,000 in the UK alone, and more than $2 million worldwide by 1948. What made the story even more remarkable was Mason's profit-sharing deal. He reportedly received $20,000, a sum so large for the time that it would be worth nearly $800,000 today. The success of the film was staggering. It drew almost 18 million admissions, and in some parts of the UK, even outsold Gone with the Wind. Audiences were captivated by its dark tale of a controlling music teacher and his pianist Ward. Mason's intense and complex character struck such a chord that it helped shape a new kind of leading man on screen, one who was both magnetic and morally uncertain. Behind the camera, the production carried just as much drama. Mason's relationship with co-star and Todd became one of the most talked about rivalries in cinema history. Their professional disagreements quickly grew into explosive clashes that fed newspaper headlines week after week. Mason shocked industry insiders when he insisted Todd should receive equal billing, even though their on-set arguments were notorious. In one heated moment, he reportedly tore up a script in front of the crew. The press labeled them cement and dynamite, a nickname that captured their strange mix of stability and volatility. Ironically, the tension made the film even more appealing to audiences who saw echoes of that real-life conflict in the story itself. Years later, Todd claimed that she and Mason had an affair during filming, a revelation that only fueled the legend. Even with his triumph, Mason faced a painful setback. When the Academy Awards came around in 1947, he was left out of the nominations despite widespread praise from American critics for The Seventh Veil and Odd Man Out.